Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. This is going to be another video about Godforge. Today we're actually going to do a deep dive in terms of the questions and general comments we see from the community. Almost like a kind of dev diaries type of deal where I try and answer some of the most requested kind of bits of information, which I'm allowed to answer. And I just give you guys a bit more of a feel for what's going on behind the scenes. Some of the different community feedback and how I feel about the community feedback and you know what we're doing in terms of addressing some of those things anyway before we even saw some of that community feedback. I will say before I get into the questions, like just coming back to why did I start doing Godforge? You know, why was Fateless born? And really, we've come from a community of players who love hero collectors, they love turn-based RPGs, they love RPGs in general, or MMOs. I, in particular, just wanted to make a really fucking cool game. Like, and I'm still there. That's still my place. Whenever we're like making decisions as a team, it's like, hold on a minute. Does that feel like it would be cool in the game? Yes or no? That's basically it. And sometimes it's like, well, hold on a minute. That doesn't feel quite right for the lore of the character and stuff. I'm like, hold on. Does it look really fucking cool or not? And, you know, is that game feature going to be really cool and really well received? Yes or no? That's pretty much the kind of benchmark. And I'm still there. Right? That's exactly where we're at. And, you know, at this point, it's not me making a game. It is a much wider team. You know, designers, developers, artists. There's like tons of us now, all in that same sort of mindset and that same type of vision. So I guess rest assured, we do take feedback, you know, seriously, but also we have to make hard decisions because often feedback can be pretty 50-50. And at that point, you just got to make a call and go with it, right? So there's other things in play here rather than just, you know, just people kind of like saying, I'd much rather this. Because generally, the people that are upset with something are much louder than the people that are just comfortable with the way something is. So let's get into it. So far, what have we shown you? We've shown you a demo of one level of campaign. Okay, that's all we've shown you so far. And I mean, amazing how much, you know, feedback we can get around that. Interestingly, the two things which we've shown you in the demo, which we would class as relatively niche for this genre. So things like destructible backgrounds and things like our reliquary room where you're able to basically find combinations of I guess secret rooms. These two things are the only two things we've shown you so far which are remotely, I guess, different to the genre that we know and love, and these seem to have been really well received, which is cool. So as we kind of like put a bit of our secret sauce on the genre, it's good to see the stuff that we've kind of called out as like these would be a real point of difference for us. That's kind of landed. So that's cool. So I'm just going to pull up random comments from, not random comments, I'm going to pull up comments which were quite frequent from the community and just kind of give the kind of dev diary answer to it really and give you a sense of what's going on. So Brevin Prince here, I was hoping for a bit more distinction between your game and Raid. Seems like a Raid clone with a new theme. Combat looks like the same down to turn meter and stuff like that. Okay, similar level 60s, Ascension, that type of stuff. So we are making a turn-based hero RPG, a hero collector RPG. Obviously, most people from this community have come from Raid. And yeah, I mean, we're using some of the same mechanics that you see in Raid. But this is not a Raid clone, by the way. This is just a game from this genre. Okay, Summoner's War was, you know, what, 5-6 years before Raid. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes been out forever. You know, you've got the anime group like the Epic Sevens, and if you go back to Final Fantasy VII, like these games have been around for a long time. Okay, and a lot of what we see in terms of the things you're calling out as a clone, you know, level 60 max. Well, that's been around for a long time in a number of different games. Even to the point where, you know, playing World of Warcraft, you know, hitting level 60, that was your max. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff which just feel comfortable to have in the genre. Now, almost every single thing that we're doing we've had the conversation internally to say, is this where we innovate? Okay, is there much benefit to innovate to say, oh, hold on, we don't level to 60 in our game, we level to 100. And we've had this exact conversation. It's like, well, all you're doing is you're changing a number. So we want people to come into the game and understand that they're playing a game of this genre and feel comfortable with that. Because when they get into some of the areas where we're innovating, that's going to be where their brain needs to say, okay, I need to learn some new things. And if you're learning new things all over the game, almost trying to create your own genre, well, for a new studio, that's extremely risky. Okay, it's a very risky thing to do. So some things are very similar to what you've seen in other games. Some things we're bringing with our own flavor to it, and some things are just going to be new. Most of the stuff which is just new, nobody's seen outside of the development team, because we're still a year from launch, and it would be very easy for any competitor in the genre to literally pick up the new thing and say, we can turn that on in 3 months, and basically, Godforge, good luck. Yeah, because then it looks like we've just copied a whole bunch of stuff from other people. So rest assured, the whole kind of like, is there going to be more distinction between your game and Raid? A lot of the basic things around the type of game it is will feel similar, but not just Raid, to this genre. And there'll be plenty of stuff where you're like, damn, that feels really cool and very different. So I just rest assured. What we've got here, Vikings never die. I was thinking using the mythology as your base won't in the long run prevent you from adding new champs. Sooner or later, the divinities will run out, won't they, type of thing. So, I mean, literally, easily, we could go to 1,000 gods and not even scrape the surface. And that's if we were just using gods. We're using gods, myths, and legends. We've seen some really interesting stuff from the community around, you know, what does a legend actually mean? You know, is the kind of the Loch Ness Monster a legend, for example? Is a Yeti a legend? And so on and so on. Oh man, what's his name? Robin Hood. Is Robin Hood a legend? Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that we could do. Jack the Ripper, is he a legend? Should he be in the game? So there's almost an infinite pool of opportunities in here. I don't think in any way we'll be restricted in terms of hero numbers and stuff like that. Looks great, honestly. Yeah, it needs a ton of polishing, but the base of the game looks amazing. Great UI work. Yeah, send love to my designers, whatever. One thing I must point out, you want to have double character animation speed, but not the whole game speed. Yeah. This is something we've already fed back internally. So when we're playing, you can see when I've got 2 times on at the moment, everything is at 2 times. Like the flags, the trees, the lot. Shouldn't do that. It should just be the characters' animations that speed up. So we have already picked up on that, and it's we are in pre-alpha, remember. So any stuff like that, firstly, we thank you for the feedback, but yeah, we are on it. Any communication, we see this a lot about pay to win. How pay to win will the game be? So we haven't worked out pack prices. We haven't done all of that stuff yet. This game has cost millions of dollars to make, or will have cost millions of dollars to make when it goes live. It has to have payment methods in the game. So what I would say to you is, we want to make sure there's plenty of ways to earn cool rewards as a free-to-play player. We're going to have game modes which are specifically free-to-play centric. And by that, I mean normalized modes. You'll be making options where, irrelevant of your champion pool, you'll be playing on a level playing field with anyone who spent any money in some game modes. Okay, so but there will still be an element of, you can buy shard packs or crystal packs. You can you can buy more energy. Like those things will happen because we do have to monetize in some way, and ultimately it's a free to play game. Okay, so will there be better rates in shard pools and stuff like that? Yeah, probably, but not by a lot. Otherwise, these games get incredibly boring really fast. Okay, I've played games where you get everything you want really quickly, and you're like, oh, that's got to be the best method. It's not. It's boring. It's really boring. So we still want players to have challenges in the game, and the only way you can have challenges in the game is if you don't just get everything given to you. You have to make strategic decisions based on what you have. So we're not going to be like egregiously pay to win, but there will be ways to spend in this game to speed up your progress, but never to the point where somebody who plays free to play for a long time couldn't catch up with the paid player. By the way, we're on basically all socials. If you want to get like screenshots of new heroes that come out and artwork of like background assets and stuff like that, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Reddit now. We're basically anywhere where there's a social. So feel free to join us on whatever makes most sense for you. So what's it saying here? Oh yeah, often asked, is this going to be mobile or PC? So the beta is going to be Android and PC. And then when we launch, it will be cross-platform. So Mac, PC, iOS, Android. And here, how do you sign up for the beta? You can just go to the Fateless website, which I'll pin down below. And you can just come on a very easy sign-up form there and come and join us in the Discord once you've done that. The closed beta will be early next year. I like the cinematic view. Okay, we're going to get a lot of kind of mixed views on this visual of the game. I like the cinematic view. I see everyone else hating on it. I want to see the detail. It makes it look like a high quality game. Raid and especially Watcher of Realms look worse when you get into gameplay. This makes it feel like every character is special and they get their own thing while characters stand back. Okay, so there's also, I think I've got screenshots up here where people don't like the camera. Awesome demo. One point is that the camera might not work well with motion sickness. We've definitely taken that on board. Thank you for that. We've seen that a few times. And then DJ Beast here and a number of others. This game's looking good. If we could change the camera angle to see the battle from a different perspective, that would be a huge improvement. So yeah, this is one of those things, right? So going back to, we don't want a raid clone. And then actually what we did is we looked at the kind of point of view in the remake of Final Fantasy VII. And we kind of like this view. This feels way more interactive and cinematic as you're kind of like going through this character view. Slightly different to what we've tried to do because we won't be as dynamically moving our characters around. But anyway, we like this view. We also looked at the most successful game in the genre by quite some way right now, which is Honkai Star Rail. And again, similar type of thing, focused on the one character when it was doing their ability, and then kind of like slips back into the team when you need to. Now, these are a couple of the, I guess, inspirations for the game view that we've currently got. So if you look at our kind of like game view, but there's a few differences, right? So right now, let's just go to 1x speed. Right now, we don't have all of the kind of like animations slick. We don't have a jump back into position. We don't have it spinning around to show you when you want to buff your team properly. We don't have it spinning behind the team when the enemy are attacking. So there's a few things which we definitely were going to change anyway. And some of the timing's off on animations, basically because of where we are in terms of timing, like pre-alpha, all that type of stuff. That being said, we can change cameras as we choose to, and we're definitely taking that feedback seriously. What we actually really want to do is wait until we've got it slick so that it feels good and people are able to play that closed beta, and then we can make some decisions on whether or not we just want to change it up. But we've definitely taken the feedback on board. You know, there's no, that's the whole reason for having, you know, this type of channel and a community that's so close. There's also, though, an element of people don't like change until they've experienced it for a while. So it's until we've got people actually playing the beta and, you know, get some proper live feedback, it's very difficult to know whether it's just like, oh, it feels different, so therefore I'm a bit scared of it, or whether it genuinely doesn't feel as good. After I've been playing it for a while, I actually love it. Like, I love it. I feel like it feels way better, and that's before we've cleaned up all the animation and stuff. So, you know, we've seen a lot of people in comments say, I really like it, and we've seen a lot of people in comments say, you need to fix it, which is a bit of a silly term, but you need to change it. Okay, so we're taking it on board, and it might be that we just introduce a second camera angle as a possibility when the game goes live. Obviously, that takes extra time, extra development work, all that type of stuff, but we will see after the beta if people still feel that kind of same way. But definitely taking that feedback on board. Here we go. So we got Ray Hawk here. What's he saying here? Oh, yeah, because there was sidekicks, pets that you could summon as well. And they give you stuff like blessings. Cool idea. This isn't like a repeated one. It's just, I love it when people come into the Discord and actually come with a cool idea. You know, so I'm not saying we're definitely going to implement this. I had a very similar idea to this, but it went in a different direction. But we've got an area of the Discord here at Fateless where we've got an area for innovation and ideas. And we've got these kind of like game idea mega threads where people just come and give ideas. Now, some people come in and they literally just say like, make game good. And you're like, great feedback. What can I do with it? I literally can't do anything with it. Whereas if someone comes with an actual idea, you know what? I read every single one, and some stuff we're actually implementing on the back of cool ideas. What's interesting as well is, you know, people that say, you know, is this just a clone of Raid? If you've got cool ideas of how we could really be different, we are all ears. Like, we're literally wide open to taking those suggestions in. So feel free to bring them along. As I say, I read every single one. We've got here, a god. Have an in-game trade system where you can post the champion you want to trade to other people and be able to haggle with them. I really liked the idea of this. We've kind of gone back and forth on a marketplace in the game, on a trade system in the game, all of these things. Every single time we go down this road, it just comes back with, unfortunately, people cheat these systems. Bots come up, they farm shards, they farm the ability to summon, and eventually they'll get the champion you want. People trade with the bots, and eventually you get people with just kind of these OP accounts because they're cheating the game. I've got this real thing that I hate. Like, I hate people that cheat to win, and I don't want to put a system in the game where literally it helps people cheat to win. So it's unlikely we're going to do this just because of, you know, the fact that I just said there. Gecko Mayhem. I do not envy the mammoth task of game balancing. Just watch that demo. Made me think of all the different combinations of abilities, the strategic use of ultimate moves. Yeah, that's quite a cool thing it's quite a good thing to call out, actually. So our ultimates, there is an element of strategy to them. So you will be able to save your ultimate, which is charging up down here on the bottom left. You'll be able to sort of save up the use of an ultimate to the point where you think it's going to be the right time to use it. And there definitely will be strategy to that, because different heroes will gather their ultimate strength in different ways. And some of it is just by taking turns, but also there's going to be, you know, some people get their ultimate up through killing stuff. Some people get their ultimate up through debuffing, and all sorts of different things. So at some point you can get to all of your team having their ultimate ready at the same time, and you could unleash all of your ults back to back. So, but I think that's a cool element of strategy. So if I take it off auto for a second, whilst Anubis lays me down, yeah, I could be like, right, actually it's not Zeus's turn, but I can use Zeus's ult. And I could also use Hercules' ult, etc. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do back to back to make those ults really interesting. But it's right what Gecko says here. That means there's going to be an ultimate. There's going to be an element of balance that's needed, and that doesn't even like scratch the surface of it, because there's other things which we've not released yet in terms of to the wider public, in terms of tricky things to balance, but will add a lot of fun to the game. So I guess this is a watch this space, but you know, that's why Saf's in the team, the ultimate balancing king. He's going to be working hard to make sure that that's something that we do. So yeah, but yeah, cool out. Definitely something that's on our minds. Pippin here, love the reliquary idea. Can see some really cool puzzles and community engagement. My concern is there's always, whenever you add something like, there's always, okay, well, what's the flip side? What's the concern with it? So my concern is you mentioning possibly needing a specific combination of heroes to unlock it in a gotcha hero collector game. It could be frustrating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so yeah, that reliquary idea, it might be that you need a specific hero, a hero from a specific faction that's also got a weapon from their faction, as an example. Or it might be, to unlock this reliquary, you need to have 5 heroes of this faction. Or it might be you need 3 heroes of this faction and 2 heroes from this faction. You will find in the game clues in terms of what do you think you're going to need for this reliquary to open up. But I can assure you, Pippin, it will never be you need Zeus, Hercules, and I don't know, Brunhild. Like these 3 specific heroes to unlock it. That's not what we're going for. It's just more of a kind of like community. Damn, I've just unlocked one and this is what I was using. And then you're trying to decipher what it is and share with the community how you're getting into these different rooms where you can earn yourself some juicy fat loot. But yeah, good call out. Would be nice to see, so this is from Kay, would be nice to see African warriors in the game, maybe a Zulu couple, tribal marks and all. It's nice to have Egyptians. That's just one African culture. So I guess just to make you aware, we're going to have 10 different mythologies on launch with the ability, obviously, providing the game is successful, to have more factions down the line. And I'd say out of the 10 factions that we're launching with, we've got really good diverse cultures. We've got the ones that people are more aware of, you know, the Greek gods and stuff, the Egyptians, the Norse. And I've done videos talking about all of those. We're actually just going into now I guess like the Hindu area of our game and starting to explore those heroes. And damn, some of them are so sweet. So yeah, rest assured, we do have a really cool diversity of different mythologies coming in. Omer here from the Discord. I need to know if this game is going to have an infinitely farmable PvE mode. So Omer has also like mentioned a number of times, I wish this game wouldn't have energy and stuff like that. It's a tricky one. So where you've got a game where there's like farmable resources, if you have no energy, then we're almost saying if you don't play this game 24/7, then you're going to fall behind everyone else by a lot. And we don't want to put that kind of like feeling on players that you should be playing the game 24/7 to stay keep up with someone else. And that's one of the reasons why energy is introduced into these games. Certainly that's one of the reasons why energy's in there. We will have game modes where you can play things like the normalized modes infinitely if you've got some skill and knowledge in the game. Yeah, so you'll be able to earn the ability to go back in and go again and go again. And there will be a number of different game modes where you can come in and play pretty much infinitely. I don't know if infinitely is the right word, but you could definitely re-go into different content and go again. So it's hard to answer this type of thing without showing you all of the different features we've got lined up. But there definitely will be plenty of playtime without the need to become, like a PvPer. I pulled this one in just because it answers a number of people's questions. So Manuel, I don't know how you say this. I'm so terrible at saying names. I hope that this game is in German too. So the release plan is that we will release in English speaking and look to be successful. Obviously, that's what we're hoping for, is success. And then we will start to localize. Certainly German is one of the languages which would be high priority because we know in Germany a lot of people play these games. But ideally, if we're able to be successful in some of the stuff we've got going on right now around investment and stuff like that, then we could do localization in terms of our launch much sooner into more regions. So, but yeah, English speaking is going to be our initial launch in terms of plans right now. There's something else which I just wanted to talk about, not really answering a question, but there's been a couple of videos that have come out. So basically, Wizard D Gaming had something here that was like Godforge on thin ice, and and Godforge on thin ice after releasing our pre-alpha. And we heard MTG Jedi did one on like why Godforge will fail. I think it was something like that. Anyway, it's so weird. So firstly, there's a ton of different content creators already doing Godforge content, which is cool to see. Here it is, Godforge will fail. And I've got to say, now being on the other side of the screen as a developer, when you see these kind of things, you're like, oh man, that sucks that people have got that opinion already, because you're so heavily invested in the game and the work that you're putting in. But it's also, it basically feeds back into what we're doing here. So some of the context of this was like, are the models good enough? You know, are the character models up to scratch with what we see from other games? I mean, personally, I feel like for pre-alpha, we're in a pretty good spot because everything from here is increasing the quality of optimization. So the actual base models are very good. It's like shaders, textures, lighting, all of that type of stuff to just improve the game. But like, you know, we're trying. We're like every single model that goes through 2D concepting, 3D concepting, you know, every single one, we're like, does this hit the cool factor? Yes or no? And art is very subjective to how you feel, right? And there's also elements like, as I say, sometimes, which one is it? This one here. Sometimes the lighting is just not good enough yet. And lighting makes such a difference. Sometimes the textures we've got in play, like this here, don't feel quite right. Like it's too waxy type of feel. The good thing is our 3D models are great. So then it just comes down to the technical art guys improving what we've got. But there'll also be an element where some people are just like, you know what? It's not good enough for me. And it's hard. It's hard to hear. But, you know, I get it. We have to design with mobile in mind. So there's some constraints with that. And we also have to design within our budgets. So there's constraints with that. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're working with. But I don't know, guys. We're trying. We're trying hard. And I'd say over time as well, as we're sort of finding our feet with the art crew, that's improving as well. So this is the earliest models that we've done. Since here, we've already got 50 done, by the way, 50 character models. So we're seeing 15, but we've actually got more like 50 complete. And I already know that there's some which I prefer to what we've already done. So all I can say is we listen to the feedback, we're trying, and you know, going back to what I said right at the start of the video, we just want to create a really great game. And we will try our hardest to do it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy what you see. Hopefully some of those answers give you some more context in terms of what we're working on. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and come and join us for the beta and in the Discord channel. And I'll leave all of that stuff down below. That's going to be it for today. I'm Simon from Fateless, and I'll see you in the next one.